Aisha Caldwell sat tall in a Richmond courtroom, her FBI badge gleaming, testifying against a drug lord. Deputy Vernon Holt, eyes narrowed, sneered, and accused her of perjury. He lunged, yanking handcuffs to arrest her before a stunned judge. Gasps echoed. Aisha flashed her badge, cool as ice. Holt froze, humiliated. The judge tossed the case, but Holt's glare burned with vengeance. 7 minutes later, Aisha stepped outside, victory fading as sirens wailed. That moment would unravel her life. What had she unleashed? Before diving in, share where you're watching from. If you stand for justice, hit like and subscribe. Tomorrow's episode is unmissable. Aisha Caldwell's heels clicked on the courthouse steps, the Virginia sun scorching her navy blazer. Her heart still raced from the courtroom clash, Vernon Holt's sneer etched in her mind. She'd humiliated him, flashing her FBI badge to stop his handcuffs mid-air. The judge's gavel had slammed, dismissing the drug lord's case, and Aisha had walked out thinking she'd won. But those sirens she'd heard 7 minutes ago gnawed at her gut. Something wasn't right. She reached for her phone to call her supervisor, Marcus, needing to report Holt's stunt. Her fingers grazed the screen when tires screeched. 3 squad cars roared up, lights flashing, boxing her in. Deputies spilled out, boots pounding asphalt, their faces twisted with purpose. Holt led them, his smirk back sharper now, like a blade. "Aisha Caldwell, you're under arrest for assaulting an officer," he barked, his voice dripping venom. Assault. Her mind reeled. She'd barely touched him in court, just raised her badge. Bystanders pulled out phones, filming, their murmurs buzzing like flies. Aisha squared her shoulders, voice steady. "I'm FBI, badge number 7492, check it." Holt laughed, a low, ugly sound, and grabbed her arm, twisting it. Pain shot through her wrist. "Don't care what you claim, girl. You swung at me." Lies. She scanned the crowd, spotting a white-haired man in a suit, the judge from the trial watching from the courthouse door. "Your Honor, you saw it," she called. He turned away, lips tight, muttering about procedure. Her stomach dropped. No help there. The deputies shoved her against a squad car, metal hot against her cheek. Handcuffs clicked, biting her skin. She caught a bystander's eye, a young black woman filming, her face tight with fear. "Post that," Aisha mouthed, praying the truth would spread. Holt yanked her upright, his breath sour. "You're done." The crowd thickened, some shouting, others silent, phones up like a sea of lenses. Aisha's badge hung heavy in her pocket, useless now. They hustled her into the car, doors slamming. The drive to the precinct was a blur, Richmond streets flashing past, her mind racing. Holt had no evidence, no witnesses. This was retaliation, pure and raw, for embarrassing him. Her FBI status would clear this, she told herself. Marcus would have her out by night. The precinct loomed, a squat brick building with barred windows. Inside, the air stank of sweat and bleach. Deputies led her to a holding room, fluorescent lights buzzing. Holt stayed close, his eyes glinting. Then, the door opened, and Sheriff Grayson walked in. Aisha's breath caught. She'd heard of him. A legend in Richmond's underbelly. A man who ruled Henrico County like a king. 6'3", broad as a linebacker, his silver hair slicked back. He carried himself like he owned the air. His badge gleamed, but his smile was cold, predatory. "Well, well, Agent Caldwell," he drawled, voice thick with Virginia grit. "Heard you're a troublemaker." Aisha met his gaze, chin up. "Your deputy lied. I didn't assault anyone. Check the courtroom tapes." Grayson chuckled, circling her like a shark. "Tapes? Funny thing, those got corrupted. Happens sometimes." Her pulse spiked. Corrupted? That was no accident. She clenched her fists, cuffs digging in. "I'm FBI. You can't just hold me." Grayson leaned close, his cologne choking. "FBI don't mean squat here. You're just another loudmouth who don't know her place." The words hit like a slap, laced with the kind of hate she'd faced her whole career. Black woman, too. Sharp, too bold, always a target. She swallowed rage, keeping her voice level. "Call my supervisor, Marcus Tate Quantico. He'll confirm." Grayson ignored her, nodding to Holt. The deputy stepped forward, holding her leather satchel, the one she'd carried into court. He unzipped it slowly, theatrical, and pulled out a plastic baggie. White powder glinted inside. Aisha's blood ran cold. "So that's not mine," she said, voice sharp. Holt grinned, tossing the baggie on the table. "Found it in your bag, sweetheart. Looks like cocaine to me." Her vision tunneled. Planted. They'd planted it. She lunged forward, cuffs yanking. Her back. "You set me up." Grayson raised a hand, silencing her. "Assault, drugs, resisting arrest. You're looking at 10 years minimum." 10 years? Her knees buckled, but she caught herself. This wasn't just Holt's grudge. Grayson was orchestrating it, a man with enough pull to bury her. She thought of her mother, her sister Tanya, waiting at home, oblivious. If she went down, they'd suffer too. The room spun, but Aisha forced herself to focus. "You won't get away with this. The FBI will investigate." Grayson's laugh boomed. "Your people? They'll drop you like a hot coal once they hear drugs." Nobody trusts a black agent with a rap sheet. The truth in his words stung. She'd seen colleagues sidelined, careers ruined over less. But she wasn't done. Not yet. Holt shoved her toward a cell, the door clanging shut. Alone she sat on the cot, wrists throbbing, mind racing. Her phone was gone, confiscated. No way to call Marcus. But the bystander's video, that girl filming, maybe it was online already. If it went viral, if the public saw Holt's lie, she could fight this. She clung to that hope, thin as a thread. The precinct hummed outside, voices barking orders. Aisha closed her eyes, picturing her badge, her oath. She'd joined the FBI to fight men like Grayson, to break their systems. This was her test. Hours crawled by, the cell's chill seeping into her bones. She replayed the courtroom, Holt's lunge, the judge's cowardice. Why hadn't she seen this coming? Her testimony had been routine, just another drug bust. But Holt's eyes, that smirk, they'd locked on her from the start. Race. It was always race. A black woman with power, a threat to men like him. She'd faced slurs before, whispers in FBI halls, but this was different. This was war. A key rattled. Holt appeared, tossing her a stale sandwich. "Eat up, you'll need strength for court." She ignored the food, glaring. "You're a disgrace to that badge." He leaned against the bars, unfazed. "And you're just a nobody who got uppity. Sheriff's got plans for you." Plans. The word chilled her. Grayson wasn't just framing her. He was building something bigger, a trap she couldn't see. She thought of her evidence, her case files on the drug lord. Had they targeted her to protect him? No, too simple. This felt personal, like she'd crossed an invisible line. The cell door slammed as Holt left. Aisha paced 3 steps one way, 3 back. Her FBI training kicked in. Assess, adapt, act. She had no phone, no allies here, but she had her mind. Marcus would notice her absence soon. He'd dig, find the truth. And that video, if it was out there, could shift everything. She just needed time. But time was slipping. Grayson's taunt echoed. 10 years. A decade in a cage, her name trashed. Her family broken. She sank onto the cot, heart pounding. The precinct's hum faded, replaced by a distant siren. Another arrest? Or something worse, coming for her. She stood, fists clenched. Whatever Grayson planned, she'd fight. She'd always fought. Her badge, her truth, they were still hers, even in this cell. She'd get out, expose Holt, take down Grayson. The thought steadied her, a spark in the dark. Tomorrow, she'd face a judge, maybe the same coward from today. She'd demand a lawyer, call Marcus, get that video trending. The public would see her, not Grayson's lies. She was Aisha Caldwell, FBI, not some pawn to be crushed. The cell's cold bit deeper, but she sat taller. Let them come. She was ready. Or so she thought, blind to the storm Grayson was brewing, a betrayal that would shred her hope like paper. Aisha Caldwell's wrist still ached from the cuffs as she stumbled out of the Richmond precinct, the morning sun blinding after a night in a frigid cell. Her navy blazer was creased, her FBI badge tucked in her pocket, useless now. Sheriff, Grayson's planted drugs and Deputy Holt's lies had landed her in a cage, branded an assaulter and a dealer. But Marcus Tate, her FBI supervisor, had pulled strings, posting her bail by dawn. "We're launching a review," he'd said over the phone, voice tight. "Stay low, Aisha. This stinks of a setup." She nodded to no one, stepping onto the cracked sidewalk, heart thudding. The precinct loomed behind her, a squat fortress of brick and bars. She scanned the street, half expecting Holt's squad car to screech up again. Nothing. Just honking taxis and a homeless man pushing a cart. Her phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. "FBI's got your back. Stay safe." Relief washed over her, fragile but real. The review would dig up the truth, expose Holt's courtroom stunt, maybe even Grayson's drug planting. She'd be cleared. Back at her desk in Quantico by next week. That hope carried her home, a modest row house in Jackson Ward, its red brick faded but hers. She locked the door, sank onto the couch and exhaled. Her mother's old quilt draped over the armrest, a reminder of softer days. But Grayson's taunt echoed, "Nobody trusts a black agent with a rap sheet." She shoved it down, focusing on the now. She needed allies, fast. Her neighbor, Claire Dempsey, a white journalist with a local blog, knocked as if on cue. Claire's blonde bob bounced, her green eyes sharp. "Saw the news, Aisha. That arrest video's everywhere. People are pissed." Aisha's pulse quickened. The bystanders' footage from the courthouse steps, the black woman filming, it had gone viral. "Good pissed or bad pissed?" she asked. Claire grinned. "Good. They see Holt's a liar. Let me write your story, expose these clowns." Aisha hesitated. Claire's blog had pull, 10,000 readers, mostly progressive. But trusting outsiders had burned her before. Still, she needed the public on her side. She handed Claire her case notes, photos of the planted baggie, even Holt's smirking face. "Get this out there," Aisha said. "Show them who's dirty." Claire nodded, typing furiously on her laptop. By noon, the article was live. FBI. Agent targeted by corrupt deputy in racist arrest. Aisha read it, heart soaring. Claire nailed it, calling out Holt's lies, Grayson's power grabs, the judge's cowardice. Social media lit up, hashtags trending. "Justice for Aisha." # fire Holt. Strangers posted fist emojis, prayers, demands for Grayson's badge. Aisha leaned back, a smile tugging her lips. This was it, her tide turning. The FBI review, the viral video. Now Claire's article, it was a trifecta. Grayson couldn't bury her now. She texted Marcus. "Article's out, public's with me." He replied, "Solid, keep your head down." She planned to, sipping coffee, scrolling comments on Claire's blog. "This is why black women can't trust the system," one read. "Holt's a racist pig," said another. Her chest swelled. People saw her, believed her. She was no longer just a name in cuffs. Evening fell, the sky bruising purple. Aisha. Cooked pasta, the kitchen warm with garlic and hope. Her phone pinged, another alert. Claire's article had hit 50,000 views. She laughed, a rare sound. Maybe she'd sleep tonight, no nightmares of cells or sneers. Then her phone buzzed again, a new article link. Her smile froze. The headline screamed, "Rogue FBI agent. Faked badge, sources say." Her stomach lurched. She clicked, hands shaking. Claire's byline. The piece twisted everything, claiming Aisha forged her credentials, assaulted Holt to dodge justice, even linked her to the drug lord she'd testified against. Photos showed her cuffed, eyes wild, captioned "criminal in disguise." Lies, all of it. Aisha's pasta went cold. She called Claire, voicemail, texted, no reply. Her doorbell rang. She peeked out, seeing nobody, just a note taped to her. "George, you're finished." No signature, but Grayson's shadow loomed. Her phone lit up, notifications flooding. Death threats poured in, faceless accounts spewing venom. "Go back to the hood. We know where you live." Her address was doxed, posted on a hate forum. She yanked the curtains shut, heart hammering. Claire had sold her out. Aisha checked the original article, gone, replaced by this hit piece. She dug into Claire's blog history, finding a new sponsor, a law firm tied to Grayson's brother. Bribed. Claire had taken a payout, turned her story into a knife. Aisha's badge, her truth, now dirt in the public's eyes. She called Marcus, voice cracking. Claire flipped. They're saying, "I'm a fraud," he cursed. "FBI's getting heat. Your badge is suspended until we sort this." Suspended. The word hit like a brick. Her career, 20 years of busts and late nights, hung by a thread. She paced, the quilt no comfort now. Grayson hadn't just framed her. He'd weaponized the media, turned her allies into snakes. The viral video, her one hope, was drowned out by Claire's lies trending harder. Aisha Lee's spiked, fueled by bots and bigots. Her sister Tanya texted, "You okay? People are talking crazy." Aisha didn't reply, couldn't drag Tanya into this. She sank to the floor, head in hands. The precinct cell had been cold, but this was worse. Betrayal's chill cutting deeper. Grayson's reach was a noose, tightening. She'd trusted Claire, thought the public's roar would shield her. Wrong. Her phone buzzed, another threat. "You're dead, fake cop." She muted it, mind racing. The FBI review was her last card, but with her badge gone, even Marcus might waver. She needed evidence, hard proof of Grayson's dirt. Her case notes, the ones Claire twisted, were still on her laptop. She could leak. Them fight back. But Grayson's note burned in her mind. "You're finished." He wasn't bluffing. This was his counterpunch, and it landed square. Aisha stood, fists clenched. She'd been naive, thinking a blog post could topple a sheriff. Grayson played chess. She played checkers. No more. She'd go harder, dig deeper, expose his empire. But first, she had to survive the night, with haters circling and her name trashed. Her row house felt like a trap. Windows too thin, locks too weak. She grabbed her gun, badge or not, she was still Aisha Caldwell. Let them come. She'd fight. But as she checked her locks, a new alert pinged. Her FBI email hacked, leaking proof she was dirty. Grayson's next move was already here. What would he unleash now? If you're raging at Claire's betrayal, comment one below. Stand against this injustice. Smash that like, hit subscribe. Aisha's fighting alone, but what's Grayson's next trap? Drop 1 if you think she'll outsmart him. 2 if you fear she's doomed. Keep watching. The truth is coming. Aisha Caldwell's row house was a fortress of shadows, curtains drawn tight against the Richmond night. Her FBI badge, now suspended, sat useless on the coffee table next to her laptop, glowing with Claire's betrayal. The journalists hit. Peace had turned Aisha's name to mud. Trending lies that painted her as a rogue agent, a fraud, a criminal. Death threats buzzed her phone, each one a jab to her gut. Grayson's note, "You're finished," still burned in her mind, taped to her door like a taunt. Her sister Tanya's text, unanswered, weighed heavy. She couldn't let this storm touch her family. But Aisha wasn't done. Claire's article had twisted her evidence, but the original's case notes, photos of Grayson's planted drugs, were safe on her hard drive. She needed to fight back, expose the sheriff's rot. Her FBI training kicked in, assess, adapt, act. Marcus, her supervisor, was swamped with the Bureau's review, but he'd believe her. She just needed hard proof to bury Holt and Grayson. The precinct's servers held secrets, arrest logs, maybe even Grayson's orders to frame her. If she could hack in, she'd have leverage. Her old Quantico buddy Jamal had taught her tricks, backdoors into county systems. She cracked her knuckles, opened her laptop, and got to work. The house was silent, save for the hum of her fan battling 90-degree heat. Lines of code scrolled, her fingers flying. An hour later, she was in. Precinct records spilled open, a digital goldmine. Her pulse raced. She found it. A file labeled Community Cleansing, Grayson's Pet Project. Dozens of names, all black, all hit with trumped-up charges. Drugs, theft, assault. Dates matched Holt's patrols. Aisha's arrest was just one thread in a racist web. She downloaded it all, her breath shallow. This was dynamite, proof Grayson wasn't just dirty. He was a kingpin of hate, rigging the system to crush black lives. She encrypted the files, sent them to Marcus via a secure FBI server. "Check this," she typed. "Grayson's framing us all." Her chest loosened. Marcus would act, maybe call the feds in D.C. She leaned back, the quilt on her couch soft, under her fingers. For the first time since Holt's cuffs, she felt a spark of triumph. Grayson couldn't dodge this. The files were ironclad, timestamps, signatures, the works. She pictured him in cuffs, Holt beside him, their empire crumbling. Her phone pinged. Marcus's reply, "Got it. Sending to oversight. Stay put." Stay. Put? Easy enough. She locked her doors, checked her gun, and poured a glass of water. The fight wasn't over, but she'd landed a blow. Then glass shattered. Aisha dropped the glass, water splashing her socks. Footsteps thudded in her living room. She grabbed her gun, heart slamming. Shadows moved, 3 men masked in black tactical gear. One held a crowbar, another a knife. "Where is she?" a voice hissed. Holt's, unmistakable. Aisha crouched, behind the kitchen island, breath ragged. Her gun trembled in her hands. How'd they find her? The files? Had Marcus leaked them? No, he wouldn't. She peeked out. The men tore through her couch, ripping cushions, slurs carved into the walls. With their blades, "Get out, no place for you." Her blood boiled. This wasn't just a break-in, it was a message, Grayson's claws striking back. She aimed, steadying her grip. "Drop it," she shouted, voice cutting the dark. Holt spun, his mask skewed, eyes glinting. "There you are." He lunged. Aisha fired, the shot deafening. Holt's buddy screamed, clutching his leg, blood pooling on her hardwood. The others froze, then bolted, dragging their wounded man out the busted window. Aisha's ears rang, her chest heaving. She'd hit one, scared them off. Sirens wailed close. She lowered her gun, legs shaking. Neighbors' lights flicked on, faces at windows. She'd protected her home. But at what cost? Cops screeched up, not precinct grunts, but city police, their flashlights blinding. "Hands up!" they barked. Aisha complied, gun on the floor. "They broke in," she said, voice hoarse. "Check the walls, the blood." The lead cop, a wiry guy with a buzz cut, eyed the slurs, the wreckage. "You shoot someone?" She nodded. "Self-defense, they're Holt's men, off-duty deputies." His eyes narrowed. "You're that FBI chick, the one from the news." Her gut twisted. Claire's article, those lies about her badge, they'd poisoned everyone. "I'm Agent Caldwell. Call Marcus Tate, FBI Quantico." The cop smirked, cuffing her. "Tell it to the judge. You're under arrest for assault with a deadly weapon." Assault, her vision blurred. She'd fought off invaders, saved her life, and now this. The cops didn't dust for prints, didn't bag the crowbar. They hauled her to their cruiser, the crowd outside whispering. Her neighbor, an old black woman, shook her head, tears in her eyes. Aisha's home, her sanctuary, was a crime scene, and she was the criminal. At the station, a new one, not Grayson's, she sat in a holding room, cuffs biting again. The buzz-cut cop tossed her a form. "Sign it, confess. Makes it easier," she glared. "I want a lawyer." He shrugged, leaving her alone. Her mind raced. The files, had Marcus gotten them? She checked her phone, confiscated again. No way to know. But something felt wrong. Marcus's reply had been quick, too quick. She replayed sending the files. The secure server. Had it been secure? Her laptop was still at home, probably trashed by Holt's goons. If they'd hacked it, the files were gone. Or worse, altered. Her one shot at Grayson evaporated. The door opened. A detective this time, a woman with tired eyes. "Your buddy Marcus called, says he never got any files." Aisha's heart sank. Never got them. The server, it was compromised. Or Marcus was lying. No, not Marcus, Grayson's. Reach, it was longer than she'd feared. He'd erased her evidence, turned her victory to ash. The detective leaned in. "You're in deep, Caldwell. Assault, breaking and entering, fake badge. Sign the form." Aisha's jaw tightened. "I didn't break in anywhere." "They did." The detective sighed, walking out. Alone, Aisha stared. At the cinder-block wall. Her home violated. Her evidence gone. Her name slandered by Claire, now sealed by this new charge. Grayson wasn't just framing her. He was dismantling her life, piece by piece. The slurs on her walls burned in her. Mind a brand of hate she couldn't scrub. She thought of Tanya, her mother, oblivious to this nightmare. If she went down, they'd pay too. The precinct hummed, phones ringing, cops laughing. Aisha's ribs ached, her wrists raw. She'd fought off Holt's men, but at what price? The city cops, they weren't Grayson's, but they didn't trust her either. Claire's lies had spread, a virus no video could cure. Her one hope, Marcus, was cut off, and the files, her ace, were dust. She stood, pacing the tiny room. Grayson thought he'd won, thought she'd break. He didn't know her. She'd joined the FBI to fight men like him, to tear down their towers. This was her war now. She'd find another way, another hack, another leak. But as she paced, a new fear gnawed. Holt's men had fled, but they knew her home, her moves. Grayson's next strike was coming, and it'd be worse. Her row house wasn't safe. She needed to run, hide, regroup. The detective's words echoed, "You're in deep." Deeper than she'd ever been. But Aisha Caldwell didn't quit. She'd fight, badge or no badge, until Grayson fell. Or until she did. Aisha Caldwell's breath fogged in the pre-dawn chill as she slipped out of Richmond's city jail, her wrists still raw from cuffs. Released on a technicality unsigned paperwork, she didn't wait for explanations. Her row house, trashed by Holt's masked goons, wasn't safe. Sheriff Grayson's claws were everywhere, erasing her hacked evidence, framing her for assault, turning her FBI badge into a lie. Claire's betrayal, that viral hit piece, still burned, and now her home bore slurs carved into its walls. She had to vanish. Her navy blazer swapped for a hoodie, Aisha caught a bus to rural Henrico County, 30 miles out, where a safe house waited a rundown cabin owned by her old Quantico pal, Jamal. Her phone, returned by the jail, buzzed with threats, each one a splinter of hate. She powered it off, heart pounding. Grayson's reach was a python squeezing her life. Marcus hadn't gotten her files, or so the detective claimed. Was he blocked or worse, compromised? No time to dwell. The bus rattled through cornfields, stars fading above. Aisha's gun, confiscated, left her naked, but her mind was her weapon. She'd fight Grayson's empire, expose his community cleansing scheme targeting black lives. Jamal, a hacker with a grudge against cops, was her last ally. The cabin loomed, a sagging shack behind a wall of pines. Jamal met her at the door, his dreads tied back, eyes scanning the dark. "You look like hell," he said, ushering her in. The place smelled of damp wood and coffee. A laptop glowed on a crate, wires snaking to a satellite dish. "Grayson's got my scent," Aisha said, collapsing onto a cot. "Erased my evidence. I need you to pull it back." Jamal nodded, cracking his knuckles. "Give me what you got." She handed him a USB, a backup of her precinct hack. He plugged it in, code scrolling like a digital river. Hours bled by, the sun creeping up, casting slats of light through cracked blinds. Aisha sipped stale coffee, her burns from the home invasion stinging under bandages. Jamal cursed, then grinned. "Got it. Your files uncorrupted. Grayson's whole racket, names, dates, payoffs." Her chest loosened. The list was Gold 50 black residents framed, Holt's signature on every arrest. She leaned over, reading. "This ties him to a supremacist funder. We leak this, he's done." Jamal's fingers flew, uploading to a dark web forum, then pinging activist servers. By noon the files hit X, hashtags exploding. Cheech's Grayson exposed, Chew Black Lives framed. Aisha watched, heart racing, as protests erupted outside Richmond's precinct, crowds chanting her name. News vans swarmed, anchors reading her evidence live. "Sheriff Grayson's department faces allegations of systemic racism," one said. Aisha exhaled, a rare smile breaking. This was her counterpunch. The public, the feds, they'd have to act now. Marcus texted, "Leaks legit, oversight's moving, stay hidden." Hidden. She could do that. The cabin's walls felt like armor. Jamal's tech, her shield. She'd turned the tide, made Grayson bleed. Protesters waved signs. "Free Aisha." Her suspension might lift, her badge restored. She pictured Holt's smirk fading, Grayson's empire cracking. The day dragged, the air thick with August humidity, 95 degrees. Jamal monitored the leak, posts hitting 1,000,000 views. Aisha paced, hope flickering. She'd been a fool to trust Claire, but Jamal was solid, a brother. in arms. Night fell, stars sharp above the pines. She dozed, dreaming of her mother's quilt, Tanya's laugh. A low hum woke her, a drone outside. Then boots crunched gravel. Her eyes snapped open. Jamal hissed, "Get down!" The door exploded inward, tear gas hissing. Aisha dove behind the cot, coughing, eyes burning. SWAT stormed in, rifles up, red. Lasers cutting the smoke. "Aisha Caldwell, you're under arrest," a voice boomed. Her stomach dropped. How? She'd been careful, off-grid. Jamal scrambled for his laptop, but a boot kicked it away. Aisha crawled, lungs searing, toward a crawl space Jamal had shown her, a trapdoor under a rug. Flashlight swept, missing her by inches. "Terrorist threat, Caldwell," the voice barked. Terrorist. Her mind reeled. She yanked the trapdoor, slithering into dirt and cobwebs, the hatch clicking shut. Above, SWAT trashed the cabin. Glass. Shattering. Jamal shouting as cuffs clicked. Aisha's heart tore. Jamal caught because of her. She crawled, the tunnel tight, roots scraping her arms. The air was sour, her burns screaming. She emerged 50 yards out behind a shed, gulping clean air. Sirens wailed, SWAT vans circling. She ran, pines swallowing her, legs pumping despite the pain. A mile away she collapsed in a ditch, chest heaving. Her phone, left behind, was gone. Jamal arrested. The cabin compromised. Grayson. He'd traced her, but how? The leak. It had to be the leak. She'd posted from Jamal's IP, unmasked by Grayson's tech or a mole. Her victory, those protests, had painted a target. News app alerts flashed on a burner phone she'd grabbed from the cabin. FBI agent Aisha Caldwell linked to bomb threat. A lie. Grayson's cruelest yet. The article claimed she'd called in a threat to City Hall, pinned on her leaked IP. Protests turned sour, crowds now chanting, "Lock her up." Her evidence, her truth, buried under this new smear. Aisha's fists clenched, dirt under her. Nails. Grayson wasn't just framing her, he was rewriting her as a monster. A black woman turned terrorist to justify his hate. The feds, even Marcus, would hesitate now. She was alone, hunted, her safe house gone. Jamal's face haunted her, cuffed for her fight. She'd led Grayson to him, underestimated the sheriff's reach. Henrico's fields stretched, dark and endless. 90 miles to D.C., where oversight might listen, but she had no car, no ID. Her burns throbbed, her hoodie soaked with sweat. The SWAT raid replayed, those lasers, the gas. Worse than Holt's home invasion, this was military, lethal. Grayson's counterstrike had crushed her spark of hope. Her leak twisted into a noose. She stood, legs shaky. Running was her only play. Find a motel, a library, anywhere to regroup. She'd hack again, leak again, fight again. Grayson thought her broken, but Aisha Caldwell was forged in fire. She'd bring him down, for Jamal, for her family, for every name on that list. But as she stumbled through the dark, a new fear gripped her. Grayson's next move was coming, and it'd be bloodier. If you're furious at Grayson's lies, comment. 1 below. Believe Aisha's fight is worth it? Smash like, hit subscribe. Can she outrun this manhunt, or is Grayson's trap closing? Drop 1 if you're rooting for her, 2 if you think she's cornered. The next twist will leave you speechless. Aisha Caldwell's sneakers sank into the mud of a Richmond alley, the neon glow of a motel sign flickering above. Her hoodie clung to her skin, soaked from a late August drizzle, her burns from the safe house raid throbbing beneath bandages. Grayson's SWAT team had torched her hideout, arrested Jamal and slapped her with a terrorist label, twisting her leaked evidence into a lie. She was a fugitive now, her FBI badge a distant memory, hunted by cops and feds alike. The Henrico. Cabin was gone, her phone lost, her allies dwindling. She ditched the burner, too risky to keep. The motel, a dingy hole called Starlight, was her last refuge, $10 a night, no questions asked. Her cash, scavenged from Jamal's cabin, wouldn't last. She needed help. Someone with reach, someone the public trusted. Lena Morris came to mind, a black activist whose ex-posts rallied millions. Aisha had seen her videos, fiery calls for justice that lit up protests. If anyone could clear her name, it was Lena. The motel's front desk, had a crusty computer, dial-up slow but functional. Aisha hunched over it, the clerk snoring nearby. She messaged Lena through a throwaway account, laying out her story. Holt's courtroom stunt, Grayson's planted drugs, Claire's betrayal, the erased files, the raid. I'm Aisha Caldwell, FBI. Grayson's framing me. Help. Her fingers shook, hitting send. The screen froze, then pinged. Lena's reply, I know you. Meet me. Dawn, Riverfront Park. Aisha's chest loosened. Lena believed her. She slipped to her room, a musty box with peeling wallpaper, and crashed on the bed, gunless, defenseless. Sleep came in fits, nightmares of tear gas and Jamal's. Shouts. Dawn broke, grey and damp. Aisha reached the park, the James River gurgling nearby, mist curling off its surface. Lena stood by a bench, tall, braids tight, her leather jacket sharp. Her eyes scanned Aisha, wary but warm. You're really her, Lena said. Grayson's got the whole city fooled. Aisha nodded, voice low. He's framing black folks, dozens of us. I leaked his files, but he spun it. I need your platform. Lena's jaw tightened. I'm in. Let's burn him down. They strategized, Lena's phone recording Aisha's story. By noon, Lena posted a video. FBI agent Aisha Caldwell, targeted by racist sheriff. It detailed Grayson's scheme, Holt's lies, the SWAT raid, backed by Aisha's leaked list. The post exploded, 10 million views by dusk. Protests swarmed Richmond's precinct, crowds chanting, Free Aisha. News anchors debated her case, some calling her a hero. Lena's followers dug up dirt. Holt's old arrests, all black, all shaky. Aisha hid in the motel watching X, heart soaring. The terrorist label faded, replaced by Saksh Aisha Truth. Lena texted, You're clear. Stay low. Aisha exhaled, the bed creaking under her. She'd done it, flipped the narrative. Grayson's empire wobbled, his lies cracking. She pictured her badge, her desk at Quantico, maybe hers again. The motel's thin walls let in street noise, but she felt safe. Lena's army, her shield. Night fell, the air thick, 85 degrees. Aisha dozed, dreaming of Tanya's smile. Then glass shattered, her eyes snapped open. Flames licked the window, a Molotov cocktail's roar. She rolled off the bed, heart slamming. Shouts outside, a mob maybe 20 strong, their voices raw with hate. Get her, one yelled, Holt's twang clear. Aisha crawled, smoke choking her lungs. The door rattled, kicks splintering wood. She grabbed her backpack, the only thing, left and sprinted to the bathroom. A tiny window rusted shut was her shot. She smashed it with a towel-wrapped fist, glass cutting her knuckles. The mob's boots thumped closer, bottles crashing. Aisha squeezed through, jagged edges scraping. Her burns and dropped into the alley, asphalt jarring her knees. Flames spread, the motel a bonfire. She ran, legs pumping as the crowd's screams faded. A block away, she ducked behind a dumpster, gasping. Her hands shook, blood mixing with sweat. The mob wasn't random. Holt led them, Grayson's puppets. How'd they find her? Lena. A chill hit. Aisha checked her burner, rebooted in panic. Lena's last text had a tracker, buried in metadata. Lena, the activist hero, had sold her out. Aisha's stomach lurched. She'd trusted again. Burned again. Sirens wailed, cops arriving, but not for her. A news van screeched up, cameras rolling. An anchor's voice crackled. FBI fugitive Aisha Caldwell suspected of arson at Starlight. Motel? Arson? Her vision blurred, Grayson's spin pinning his mob's fire on her. She limped away, burns screaming, blood dripping. The motel blazed, her last cache inside. Lena's video, her lifeline, was drowned out by this new lie. X. Posts flipped, Aisha arson trending. Protesters dispersed, some cursing her name. Aisha's throat tightened. Grayson hadn't just struck back. He'd turned her victory to ash, her ally to a snake. Lena's betrayal cut deeper than Claire's, a black woman selling out her own. Aisha stumbled into a vacant lot, weeds scratching. Her ankles. Her burns needed a hospital, but cops would nab her there. She tore her sleeve, wrapping her knuckles, the pain a dull roar. Grayson's mob had nearly killed her. Worse than the SWAT raid, their flames a personal vow to erase her. She thought of Jamal, cuffed for her leak, now Lena a traitor for cash. Her family, Tanya, her mother, were still out there, targets if Grayson dug deeper. The river's gurgle mocked her, its calm a lie. Aisha's FBI oath echoed, "Protect." Serve, endure. She'd endured, but at what cost? Her safe house, her evidence, her name all gone. Grayson's reach was a hydra, every blow spawning worse. The terrorist label had been bad. Arson was deadlier, painting her as a threat to lock away forever. She crouched, mud soaking her jeans. Running wasn't enough. She needed to fight, expose Lena's deal, Grayson's payoffs. A library, a gas station, somewhere with Wi-Fi she'd hack again. But her body screamed, burns infected, blood loss fogging her mind. The motel fire replayed, Holt's voice, the mob's hate. Why hadn't she checked Lena's text? Her trust, her flaw, had lit the match. Aisha stood, swaying. She'd been naive, thinking a viral post could topple a sheriff. Grayson played dirty and she'd match him. No more allies, no more leaks. She'd go rogue, hit him where it hurt. But first she needed shelter, a bandage, a plan. The city pulsed, sirens circling. Grayson's next move was coming, and it'd be bloodier. She limped toward the river, its banks her only cover, each step a vow to fight, to live, to win, or to die trying. Aisha Caldwell's burns pulsed with pain as she limped through Richmond's back streets, the James River's damp air clinging to her torn hoodie. Lena's betrayal had nearly killed her, the motel firebombing a blazing scar on her mind, Holt's, mob screaming her name. Grayson's lies had painted her an arsonist, a terrorist, erasing her FBI badge, her leaked evidence, her hope. Jamal, cuffed for her hack, haunted her. She was alone, cashless, hunted, her knuckles still bleeding from the motel's shattered window. But Aisha wasn't broken. Her FBI oath burned bright. Fight the corrupt, no matter the cost. Grayson's empire built on framing black lives had to fall. She needed proof harder than before, something even his reach couldn't erase. His office, in the heart of Henrico's precinct, held the key files, ledgers, proof of his supremacist ties. She'd break in, steal it, end him. Night cloaked the city, 80 degrees, humid, her burns itching under makeshift bandages. Aisha slipped into a gas station, swiping a burner phone from a distracted clerk. She texted Marcus, her only lifeline, praying he wasn't compromised. "Need you. Grayson's dirty. Check precinct." No reply. She ditched the phone, moving fast. The precinct loomed 3 miles away, a fortress of brick and steel. She scavenged a cap and gloves from a dumpster, hiding her face, her hands. Her burns screamed, but pain was fuel. She reached the precinct at midnight, its floodlights harsh, cameras sweeping. Holt's squad cars idled nearby, his voice barking, orders inside. Aisha crouched behind a hedge, heart pounding. The back entrance, a rusted door for deliveries, was her shot. She'd cased it years ago, a training exercise. A guard smoked nearby, distracted. She waited, sweat beading, then darted, picking the lock with a hairpin, silent as a ghost. Inside, the air was stale, linoleum slick under her sneakers. The precinct hummed, night shift chatter faint. Grayson's office was upstairs, 3rd floor, locked tight. She crept, avoiding cameras, her FBI stealth kicking in. A janitor passed, head down. She froze, blending with shadows. The stairwell was clear, each step a risk. Her burns throbbed, blood seeping through her sleeve. Grayson's door loomed. Oak, a brass nameplate gleaming, Sheriff T. Grayson. She jimmied the lock, heart in her throat. The office was dark, leather chairs, a mahogany desk, trophies glinting, files stacked high, a safe in the corner. She started there, cracking it with a codebreaker trick Jamal taught her. The safe clicked open, revealing ledgers, cash, USBs. Her pulse spiked. She flipped through papers, finding what she needed. Bank transfers to a supremacist group, Patriot Front, signed by Grayson. Millions funneled through shell companies, tied to Holt's arrests. This was it, his empire's spine. She stuffed the USBs in her backpack, snapped photos with a disposable camera, and grabbed a ledger. Her hands shook. triumph rising. This would bury him. She zipped her bag, ready to bolt, when a floorboard creaked. She spun, but the room was empty. Paranoia, or was it? She moved fast, slipping out, locking the door. The precinct's hum grew louder, radios crackling. She hit the stairs, descending when her burner buzzed. Marcus, got your text, sending files to CNN. Hide. Hide. She could do that. She reached the back door, slipping into the night, the ledger heavy in her pack. By dawn, she was at a library 10 miles out using a public computer. CNN broke the story. Sheriff Grayson linked to supremacist funding. Her photos, the ledger, the USBs, all aired live. Protests roared, bigger than before, crowds storming Henrico's courthouse. Grayson's face flashed grim as anchors read his transfers. Aisha watched, heart soaring. The governor suspended him, pending a federal probe. She'd done it, cracked his armor. Her burns, her blood, worth it. She pictured Jamal free, her badge restored, Holt in cuffs. The library's AC chilled her. Sweat-soaked skin, 90 degrees outside. She leaned back, a rare smile. Grayson was down, his empire bleeding. She'd go deeper, leak more, but for now, she'd won. Then her screen flickered. A new alert. FBI agent Aisha Caldwell wanted for federal hacking. Her stomach dropped. Hacking? She'd never touched federal servers. The article claimed she'd breached Quantico's database, leaking classified files. Lies. Grayson's. Cruelest yet. Her CNN triumph twisted, anchors now debating her crimes. The library's silence choked her. She checked her email, a message from Marcus. FBI's hunting you, I'm sorry. Sorry? Her vision blurred. Grayson had framed her again, turning her victory to dust. Sirens wailed outside, closer. She grabbed her pack running, but the news wasn't done. A second alert hit. Her childhood home, her mother's house in Church Hill, raided. Holt led it, cameras rolling, as cops trashed the place, arresting her mother, Evelyn, for harboring a fugitive. Evelyn, 65, frail, cuffed on her porch, sobbing. Aisha's knees buckled, a scream trapped in her throat. Her mother, her rock, now Grayson's pawn. The ledger, her proof, was buried under this new smear. Protests faltered, crowds confused, some turning on her. Aisha Hacker trended, drowning Chachas Grayson exposed. She stumbled into an alley, heart hammering. Grayson wasn't just fighting back, he was dismantling her world, family first. The raid was personal, Holt's grin on the news a taunt. Her burns bled through her bandages, her knuckles scabbed. The library, her brief haven, was a trap now, cops circling. She'd underestimated Grayson, thought a leak could end him. He'd played her, let her steal the files, knowing he'd counter with this. Her mother's face cuffed, burned in her mind. Evelyn didn't know Aisha's fight, hadn't seen her since the courtroom. Now she was collateral, Grayson's message clear, no one's safe. Aisha's FBI training faltered, rage taking over. She'd been a fool, thinking evidence would win. Grayson owned the board, the pieces, the rules. Her badge, her oath meant nothing against his hate. The alley's shadows hid her, but not for long. She needed a plan, a hideout, a way to free Evelyn. Marcus was out, the FBI against her. Jamal, Lena, Claire, all gone. She was alone, hunted, her family broken. The news replayed Holt's raid, her mother's cries. Aisha's fists clenched, nails cutting her palms. Grayson thought her finished, a fugitive to crush. He didn't know her fire. She'd hit back, harder, dirtier. The courthouse, Grayson's hearing, was her next move. She'd expose him there, in public where he couldn't hide. But first she had to survive, dodge the manhunt, save her mother. The sirens grew louder, tires screeching. Grayson's next strike was coming, and it'd be bloodier. If you're sick of Grayson's lies, comment 1 below. Think Aisha's family deserves justice? Smash like, hit subscribe. Can she save her? Mother? Or is Grayson's grip too tight? Drop 1 if you believe in her fight, 2 if you fear she's lost. The next blow will shake you. Aisha Caldwell's breath hitched as she slipped through a side door into Henrico County's courthouse, her burns screaming under a stolen janitor's uniform. The August heat, 90 degrees, clung to her skin, sweat mixing with blood from her scabbed knuckles. Grayson's latest blow framing her for federal hacking, raiding her mother's home, cuffing Evelyn had gutted her. Her FBI badge was a lie now, her name synonymous with fugitive. But she'd stolen his ledger, leaked his supremacist ties to CNN, and sparked his suspension. Today was his hearing, her chance to end him. The courthouse buzzed, reporters swarming, cameras flashing. Aisha's backpack held the USBs, photos and ledger, ironclad proof of Grayson's Patriot Front funding. She'd testify, hand it over, watch him fall. Her heart pounded, legs shaky from days on the run, no sleep, no food, just rage. Evelyn's sobs, Holt's grin on the news, fueled her. She dodged the manhunt, weaving through Richmond's alleys, her burns infected, her body a map of pain. The courthouse's marble halls echoed, clerks shuffling papers. Aisha kept her cap low, blending with janitors, her dark skin no longer a target in this disguise. Grayson's hearing was in Courtroom 5, third floor. She'd memorized the layout, FBI training sharp despite her haze. The elevator dinged, too risky. She took the stairs, each step jarring her wounds. Voices drifted, reporters speculating. Grayson's done. Caldwell's a traitor. Her jaw clenched. They'd see the truth soon. Courtroom 5 loomed. Oak doors carved with scales of justice, a cruel irony. She slipped in, the gallery packed, air thick with tension. Grayson sat at the defense table, silver hair slick, suit crisp, smirking like a king. Holt lingered nearby, badge gleaming, eyes scanning. Aisha ducked into a back row, heart racing. The judge, a stern black woman named Hargrove, banged her gavel. Order. Sheriff Grayson's suspension hearing begins. Aisha's pulse spiked. Her moment. She stood, voice steady, cutting through murmurs. Your Honor, I'm Aisha Caldwell, FBI. I have evidence. Gasps rippled. Grayson's smirk faltered. Holt's hand twitched toward his gun. Aisha held up the ledger, photos, USBs. Grayson funds supremacists, frames black citizens, including me. These prove it. The gallery erupted, reporters scribbling, phones. Hargrove's eyes narrowed, but she nodded. Approach, Ms. Caldwell. Aisha walked, legs trembling, handing over the files. Hargrove scanned them, face grim. This is substantial. Sheriff, respond. Grayson stood, voice smooth. She's fugitive, Your Honor, a hacker. Those are fakes, Aisha fired back. Check the signatures, the banks, it's real. Hargrove leaned forward. I'll review. For now, Sheriff Grayson, you're detained. Bailiffs moved, cuffing Grayson, his eyes blazing into Aisha. The gallery cheered, a roar of justice. Aisha's heart soared, her burns forgotten. She'd done it, exposed him in open court. Holt glared, but he was toothless now. She turned to leave, victory sweet, picturing Evelyn free, her badge restored. Then gunshots cracked, screams tore the air. Aisha dove, marble cold against her cheek. Holt's deputies, 3 in plainclothes, fired from the gallery, bullets pinging, off benches. Get Caldwell, Holt yelled, drawing his own gun. Chaos erupted, reporters scrambling, bailiffs returning fire. Aisha crawled, heart slamming, toward a side exit. A bullet grazed her arm, blood hot, pain searing. She bit her lip, stifling a cry. The deputies weren't aiming to arrest. They wanted her dead. Grayson cuffed, laughed, a chilling sound. You're done, girl. Hargrove ducked behind her bench, shouting for order, but the courtroom was a war zone. Aisha reached a vent, yanking the grate, FBI instincts sharp. She slid in, metal scraping her burns, blood slicking her path. The vent was tight, air stale, but it led to the basement. Gunshots faded, screams muffled. She crawled, lungs burning, arm throbbing. Her backpack, still on, held the ledger, her proof safe. The deputy's attack was Grayson's counter, his loyal dogs striking even as he faced cuffs. She emerged in a boiler room, pipes hissing, and stumbled to a service exit. Outside, the night was humid, sirens wailing. Her arm bled, soaking her. Sleeve, but she ran, alleys swallowing her. She'd won, gotten Grayson detained, but at what cost? Her evidence was with Hargrove, but the shootout would spin against her. She needed a hideout, a bandage, a plan. Her burner phone, tucked in her pack, buzzed. Marcus. Courtroom's a mess. You okay? She texted back, fingers shaking. Alive. Grayson's dogs tried to kill me. No reply. She ditched the phone. Paranoia spiking. The courthouse was 5 miles back, its chaos her fault, or so they'd say. She found a gas station, its fluorescent lights harsh. Inside, a TV blared, FBI fugitive Aisha Caldwell Sparks courthouse shooting. Her stomach dropped. Sparks? She'd testified, not fired. The report claimed she'd smuggled a gun, incited violence. Lies, Grayson's spin, even from a cell. Worse, it said he was freed. A technicality insufficient warrant. Aisha's vision. Blurred, rage mixing with pain. Her victory, Hargrove's cuffs undone in hours. She bought gauze, taped her arm, wincing. The clerk, a young black man, eyed her. You her? She shook her head, bolting. Her car, parked 10 blocks away, was her only shot. She limped through shadows, each step agony. Grayson's freedom was a gut punch. His deputy's bullets a vow to end her. The shootout was worse than her mother's arrest, a public slaughter aimed at her heart. She reached her car, a beat-up sedan hidden in a lot. Her keys shook, but she froze. Wires dangled under the dash, a faint tick echoing. A bomb. Grayson's final play, rigged to blow when she turned the key. Her breath caught, FBI training screaming. Don't touch. She backed away, heart hammering, and ran, the lot's gravel crunching. The car didn't explode, but it would have. Her death, Grayson's triumph. She was alive, but barely, her arm bleeding, her evidence tainted by his lies. The courthouse, her stage, was now his weapon. The public turning, found your Aisha shooter trending. Evelyn, still cuffed, haunted her. Tanya, her sister, was out there, maybe next. Aisha's burns, her blood, her badge, all sacrifices for nothing. Grayson wasn't just fighting. He was rewriting her as a villain, a black woman to hate. She stumbled into a park, its swings creaking, the river's gurgle mocking her. Her oath to protect, to serve, felt hollow. She'd trusted the court, Hargrove, the system, and it spat her out. The bomb, silent but deadly, was Grayson's promise. No escape. She sank onto a bench, arm throbbing, mind racing. Running wasn't enough. She needed to disarm his traps, literal and not, expose his freedom as a sham. A library, a hacker, something to leak again. But her body was failing, infection creeping, blood loss fogging her thoughts. The shootout replayed. Holtz. Yell, Grayson's laugh. She'd been naive, thinking a judge could stop him. He owned the game, the refs, the crowd. Her mother's sobs, her own blood fueled her. She stood, swaying. The car bomb was his move. Hers was coming. She'd hit the courthouse again, or Grayson's allies, wherever it hurt. But first, she needed to live to fight another hour. Sirens circled closer. Grayson's next strike was brewing, and it'd be deadlier. Aisha Caldwell's arm bled through the gauze. The bullet grazed from the courthouse shootout, a throbbing reminder of Grayson's wrath. She stumbled through Richmond's outskirts, the park's swings fading behind her, the James River's gurgle, a distant hum. Her burns, infected now, screamed under her stolen janitor's uniform, her body a map of pain. Grayson's bomb in her car, wires ticking under the dash, had nearly erased her, a trap set to blow her victory to ash. She'd testified in court, handed Judge Hargrove proof of his supremacist funding, seen him cuffed only for his deputies to open fire, Holt leading the charge. Grayson's release on a technicality, the news branding her the shooter, twisted her triumph into a lie. Her mother Evelyn was still cuffed, her childhood home trashed. Aisha's FBI badge, her oath was dust, her name now fugitive, hacker, shooter. But she'd spotted the bomb's wiring, FBI training, saving her. She crouched in an alley, heart slamming, 90-degree heat choking her. The car 5 blocks back hadn't blown, but it would have, her blood on Grayson's hands. She needed shelter, a plan, her burns festering, her arm leaking. A warehouse loomed, abandoned, its windows boarded. She pried a plank, slipping inside. The air stale with rust and oil. Her backpack, heavy with the ledger and USBs, was her only weapon. She sank against a crate, ripping her sleeve to rewrap her arm, wincing as blood soaked through. Her burner phone, still functional, buzzed with a news alert. Governor launches probe into Sheriff Grayson's department. Her leaked files. The courthouse evidence had forced action. Protests swelled again, crowds chanting justice for Aisha. Her chest loosened, a spark of hope. The governor's probe could nail Grayson, free Evelyn, clear her name. She texted Marcus, her last, "FBI ally, probe's on, I'm alive, help." His reply was instant. "Good, hide. Feds are split on you." Split. Her own bureau doubting her. She shoved it down, focusing. The warehouse was safe for now. She found a sink, rusted but working, and drank, the water metallic but life-saving. Her burns needed antibiotics, but hospitals were traps. She'd survive, always had. The probe was her lifeline, public pressure her shield. She pictured Grayson sweating, Holt pacing, their empire cracking. Her testimony, Hargrove's cuffs, had landed, even if briefly. She'd rest, then leak more. Keep the heat on. Hours passed, the warehouse dark, crickets chirping outside. She dozed, dreaming of Evelyn's quilt, Tanya's laugh. A bitter taste woke her, her throat tight. The water. She gagged, vision blurring, body convulsing. Poison. Her heart raced, limbs heavy, footsteps echoed, a shadow looming. A man, scarred face, no badge, stood over her, syringe in hand. "Grayson says night-night," he rasped, voice cold. A hitman, sent to finish what the bomb couldn't. Aisha rolled, vomiting, her arms screaming as she crawled. The hitman lunged, syringe glinting. She grabbed a pipe, swinging wild, cracking his knee. He howled, dropping the needle. She stumbled, legs failing, poison coursing. Her FBI training screamed, "Move! Live!" She reached a crate, yanking her burner. Texting Marcus. "Poisoned. Warehouse, Hull Street. Save me." The hitman limped closer, cursing. Aisha swung again, pipe connecting with his jaw. He fell, out cold. She collapsed, vision tunneling, the phone slipping. Her body shook, foam, at her lips. Grayson's reach, even under a probe, was a viper, striking silent. The warehouse spun, her burns a distant ache. She thought of Evelyn, cuffed, Tanya oblivious. Her fight, her leaks, for them. Darkness crept, but tires screeched outside. Voices. Shouted, "FBI!" Marcus burst in, his face grim, medics behind him. "Aisha, hold on!" They pumped her stomach, needles piercing, her pulse fading. She woke in a van, IVs dripping, Marcus at her side. "You're safe," he said, voice tight, safe. Her chest heaved, the poison's grip loosening. Marcus had tracked her text, saved her life, but his eyes were heavy. "Feds fired me, helping you broke protocol." Fired. Her fault. Aisha's throat burned, not from poison, but guilt. Marcus, her rock, was out for her fight. The medics stabilized her, but the news hit harder. Warehouse fire linked to Aisha Caldwell. Grayson's spin again. The hitman gone, the scene staged to look like her arson. Her probe, her hope, drowned in this lie. Aisha fire trended, crowds turning, chanting, "Lock her up." Her victory, the governor's action, was ash. Grayson hadn't just poisoned her, he'd burned her name, her ally, her fight. The van, rumbled Marcus silent. Aisha's burns, her graze, her poisoned veins were badges of her war. Grayson's hitman was worse than the courthouse bullets. A silent killer aimed at her soul. She'd survived, but at what cost? Marcus, jobless. Evelyn, cuffed. Tanya, at risk. Her ledger, still hers, was buried under Grayson's lies. The van stopped at a safe house, a dingy flat, not Jamal's cabin. Marcus helped her inside, her legs weak. "Rest," he said, leaving her alone. Rest. Impossible. Grayson's empire stood, his probe a distraction. He'd framed her for the warehouse, turned Marcus into collateral. Her FBI oath to protect mocked her. She'd trusted the governor, the system, and it failed. The poison's aftertaste lingered, a reminder of Grayson's hate. She sank onto a cot, arm bandaged, burns oozing. Her backpack saved held her proof, but who'd listen now? The public, her shield, was his weapon, Aisha fire his sword. She thought of Jamal, Lena, Claire, all traitors or victims. Marcus, her last, was broken for her. Evelyn's sobs, Holt's raid, replayed. Grayson wasn't fighting, he was annihilating, a racist god crushing a black woman's defiance. Aisha's fists clenched, nails cutting her palms. She'd been naive, thinking leaks could stop him. He owned the narrative, the feds, the crowd. Her safe house was temporary, cops circling. She needed a new play, public, bold, to flip his lies. A town hall, a rally, somewhere to scream her truth. But her body was failing, infection spreading, blood loss fogging her mind. The hitman's face, Grayson's voice, haunted her. She'd survived his poison, but his next strike was coming, deadlier. If you're raging at Grayson's cruelty, comment 1 below. Believe Aisha's fight can still win? Smash like, hit subscribe. Will she rise from this poison, or has Grayson finally broken her? Drop 1 if you're with her, 2 if you fear she's done. The next move will blow your mind. Aisha Caldwell's body ached as she slipped into Richmond's City Hall, her burns festering under a scavenged coat, the bullet graze on her arm throbbing beneath fresh gauze. The poison from Grayson's hitman still lingered, a bitter ghost, in her veins, but Marcus's rescue had saved her, though it cost him his FBI job. Her mother Evelyn was cuffed, her childhood home raided. Her sister Tanya was out there, vulnerable. Grayson's lies, arson, hacking, shooting had turned Aisha into a monster. Aisha fire drowning her truth, her ledger, her proof of his. Supremacist ties was buried under his smears. But tonight, a town hall packed with voters, press and state troopers was her stage. Grayson, dodging the governor's probe, would be there, smirking. She'd crash it, expose him live, end this war. The hall buzzed, chandeliers casting gold on suits and dresses, 90-degree August heat seeping through. Aisha's coat hid, her backpack, the USBs and ledger her weapons. Her burns itched, infection spreading, but pain was her fuel. She'd dodged cops, weaving through alleys, her face half known from news. The hall's security was lax, distracted by the crowd. She slipped in, blending with caterers, her dark skin no flag in this chaos. The stage loomed, Grayson at a podium, silver hair gleaming, voice smooth as he dodged questions on his suspension. "I serve Henrico, always have," he lied. Holt at his side, badge glinting. Aisha's blood boiled. Her mother's sobs, Marcus's, firing, Jamal's cuffs, all his doing. She waited, heart pounding as a moderator droned. Then she moved, climbing the stage stairs, her voice cutting through. "Grayson's a liar," the crowd gasped, heads turning. Cameras swiveled. Live. Feeds sparking. "I'm Aisha Caldwell, FBI. He funds supremacists, frames black lives." She held up the ledger, photos flashing on a hacked projector, bank transfers glowing. "This is his truth." The hall erupted, cheers mixing with boos. Grayson's face twisted, Holt lunging. Aisha dodged, tossing USBs to reporters. "Check the files," she shouted. State troopers moved, not for her, but Grayson. "Sheriff, you're under arrest," one barked, cuffs clicking. The crowd roared, phones up. Aisha truth spiking. Aisha's chest swelled, victory sharp. She'd done it, exposed him live, millions watching. Holt froze, troopers circling. She pictured Evelyn free, Tanya safe, her badge hers again. The moderator gaped, cameras zooming. Aisha stood tall, burns forgotten, ready to walk off, a hero. Then the projector flickered. A new image, doctored footage, her face, voice warped. "I planted the files, framed Grayson, it's all me." The crowd hushed, then turned, murmurs growing. "Liar!" a man yelled, hurling a bottle. It shattered at her feet, glass biting her ankle. More flew, plastic, cans, the crowd a mob. Aisha's heart sank, victory ash. Grayson smirked, even in cuffs, his plan clear. His allies had hacked the feed, spun her truth into a confession. Cheers became jeers, Aisha Leah trending. Troopers hesitated, one uncuffing Grayson, muttering new evidence. Aisha backed away, glass crunching, but Holt charged, taser crackling. Blue light hit her chest, pain exploding, her body seizing. She fell, asphalt hard, the crowd's hate a roar. "Lock her up," they chanted, phones filming. Holt towered, tasing again, her vision blurring. Troopers grabbed her, cuffs biting, dragging her to a van. Her backpack, her proof, was snatched, tossed to Grayson's men. The hall's lights faded, sirens wailing. Aisha's mind clung to the broadcast, her moment, now his weapon. She was jailed, not in Henrico's precinct, but a max security cell. Concrete cold, bars rusted. Her burns bled, taser burns stinging, her body a wreck. The cell stank of bleach, a single bulb flickering. A guard, face blank, slid her a tray. Mouldy bread, grey water. "Eat, Caldwell," he grunted. She didn't, staring at the wall. Her victory, Grayson's cuffs, had lasted minutes. His hack, his mob, had flipped it, worse than the poison, the shootout. Her mother, Evelyn, was still cuffed, Tanya at risk. Marcus, jobless, couldn't help. Jamal, Lena, Claire, all gone. The news, piped through a cell-block TV, confirmed it. Grayson released on bail, Caldwell charged with slander incitement. Slander. Her truth slandered. The crowd's bottles, Holt's taser, were Grayson's vow. No win lasts. Then the cell block stirred, inmates approaching, fists clenched. "You're the cop chick," one hissed, a scar across her cheek. "Grayson paid us." Aisha stood, legs shaky, burns screaming. The first punch hit her ribs, cracking bone. She swung back, nails raking, but they swarmed. 5 strong, boots stomping. Blood pooled, her vision fading, ribs snapping. The guard watched, smirking, Grayson's cash in his pocket. Aisha curled, protecting her face, pain a white-hot wave. Her FBI training, her fight, useless against this mob. They left her, broken, bleeding, the cells cold biting. Her ledger, her proof was gone, Grayson's men likely burning it. The town hall, her stage, was his trap, the crowd, his weapon. Her mother's face, cuffed, haunted her. Tanya, next, maybe already targeted. Aisha's oath to protect was a lie, her fight crushing those she loved. The cell block quieted, inmates retreating. Aisha lay, ribs stabbing with each breath, blood drying on her lips. Grayson wasn't just winning, he was annihilating, a racist titan crushing a black woman's defiance. The taser's burn, the inmates' fists, were worse than poison, aimed at her soul. She trusted the crowd, the troopers, the system, and it betrayed her. Her body was failing, infection spreading, ribs broken, blood loss fogging her mind. The cell's bulb flickered, mocking her. She'd been naive, thinking a broadcast could stop him. Grayson owned the airwaves, the jails, the hate. Her victory, fleeting, was his fuel, each blow sharper. Evelyn's sobs, Marcus's firing, replayed. Aisha's hand, trembling, touched her ribs, pain grounding her. She wasn't done. The inmates, Grayson's puppets, thought her broken. They didn't know her fire. She'd escape, expose his bail, his payoffs, hit him harder. Their guard, a bribe, a crack in the bars, she'd find it. But her body screamed, her breath shallow. The cell's cold was a grave. Grayson's promise, no escape. She needed a miracle, a gap in his empire, to save Evelyn, Tanya, herself. Sirens echoed outside, faint. Grayson's next move was coming, bloodier, his hate a storm she couldn't outrun. Aisha Caldwell's broken ribs stabbed with every breath. Her body slumped on the max security cell's icy concrete. Blood crusted her lips, her burns oozing under tattered bandages. The taser burns from Holt's town hall, attack a fresh agony. Grayson's paid inmates had beaten her senseless, their fists and boots a message. No defiance goes unpunished. Her mother, Evelyn, was cuffed, her sister Tanya at risk. Aisha's FBI badge, her leaked ledger proving Grayson's supremacist ties, was dust, buried by his lies arson, hacking incitement. The town hall, her live expose, had seen him cuffed, only for doctored footage to flip her victory, the crowd turning, Holt tasing her into this cage. The cell's bulb flickered, 80-degree August heat seeping through bars. Aisha's vision blurred, infection spreading, her ribs a cage of pain. Grayson's empire stood, his bail a mockery of her fight. But she wasn't done. Her FBI oath, to protect, burned despite the dark. She needed out, to save Evelyn, Tanya herself. The guard, a lanky white man named Rawls, had watched her beating, smirking, Grayson's cash in his pocket. But Aisha had seen him flinch when the inmates kicked her, a crack in his armor. She coughed, blood flecking the floor, and called, voice hoarse, "Rawls, talk to me." He paused, keys jangling, eyes wary. "What, Caldwell?" She sat up, wincing, ribs screaming. "You saw what they did. Grayson's dirty. Help me, I'll make it worth it." He laughed, but it was shaky. "You're a fugitive, no deal." Aisha leaned forward, voice low. "I know your sister Rawls. Addict, right? Grayson's framing her like me. I can stop him." A lie, but she'd studied the jail's staff, overheard his calls. His face paled. "How'd you—" She pressed. "Help me out, I help her. Or she's next." Rawls hesitated, then slid a key under the bars. Midnight, gates open. "Don't screw me." Aisha nodded, heart racing. A crack, her miracle. She waited, paying her clock until midnight silence. Rawls unlocked her cell, nodding to a back exit. She limped out, ribs grinding, into a humid alley, free. Her burns bled, but she ran, stealing a hoodie from a dumpster to hide her face. 5 miles out, she reached a safe house, a boarded-up shack, not Jamal's cabin. Inside, a dusty laptop left by a squatter flickered to life. She hacked X, leaking Grayson's inmate attack orders, emails tying him to the beating. The Post. Hit, Yush Grayson beats trending, protests reigniting. News broke. Grayson's bail revoked, jailed for assault. Aisha exhaled, ribs aching, victory sharp. She'd flipped his game, cuffed him from the shadows. Evelyn might be freed, Tanya safe. Her badge, a faint hope, glimmered. She bandaged her burns, using rags, the shack's chill grounding her. The A. Protests roared, crowds outside the jail chanting her name. She'd done it, broken his stride. Her body was failing, but her fight wasn't. She'd rest, then leak more, end him. Then her phone, a burner scavenged from the shack, buzzed. A text anonymous. "Tanya's with us, surrender or she burns." A photo, Tanya gagged in a barn, Holt's boots visible. Aisha's heart stopped, ribs forgotten. Grayson, jailed. Still struck, using Holt to kidnap her sister. She traced the text, a rural IP 20 miles out. Her FBI training screamed, "Trap." But Tanya's eyes, wide with fear, were her world. She stole a bike, pedaling through dawn, burns tearing, ribs cracking. The barn loomed, red paint peeling, isolated in a field. Aisha crept closer, heart hammering, no gun, no backup. Holt's voice echoed inside, laughing. "She'll come, stupid hero." Aisha slipped through a side door, hay scratching her burns, Tanya tied in the center, sobbing. She moved to cut the ropes, but Holt's men, 5 shadows, emerged, gas, cans in hand. "Welcome," Holt grinned, splashing gasoline. The barn's air turned sour, fumes choking. Aisha froze, Tanya's cries piercing. Holt lit a match, its glow a death sentence. "Grayson says bye." Aisha lunged for Tanya, but the men grabbed her, slamming her down, ribs snapping anew. Gasoline soaked her coat, her burns, her hope. Holt tossed the match, flames roaring. The barn a furnace. Aisha screamed, trapped with Tanya, the fire Grayson's cruelest blow. The inmate's beating was brutal, but this was annihilation, her sister burning for her fight. Her victory, Grayson's jailing, was a lie, his reach unbroken. The flames licked higher, Tanya's sobs fading, Aisha's lungs searing. She'd trusted Rawls, the system, her leak, and it led here. Her oath to protect was ash, her family paying her price. The barn's beams groaned, smoke blinding. Aisha's body, broken, fought, crawling for Tanya, her burns melting, ribs useless. Holt's laugh, the men's boots, echoed. Grayson, cuffed. Still won. His hate of fire no leak could douse. She'd been naive, thinking a post could stop him. He owned the game, the jails, the flames. Tanya's face, her mother's, blurred in the heat. Aisha's hand trembling reached for her sister, pain her only truth. The fire was her grave, Grayson's vow, no escape. But her fight, her fire wasn't dead. She'd save Tanya, or die trying. The barn burned, and Grayson's next move, even from a cell, was coming, bloodier. Aisha Caldwell's broken ribs stabbed with every breath. Her body slumped on the max security cell's icy concrete. Blood crusted her lips, her burns oozing under tattered bandages. The taser burns from Holt's town hall attack a fresh agony. Grayson's paid inmates had beaten her senseless, their fists and boots a message. No defiance goes unpunished. Her mother, Evelyn, was cuffed, her sister Tanya at risk. Thaisha's FBI badge, her leaked ledger proving Grayson's supremacist ties, was dust, buried by his lies, arson, hacking, incitement. The town hall, her live exposé, had seen him cuffed, only for doctored footage to flip her victory, the crowd turning, Holt tasing her into this cage. The cell's bulb flickered, 80-degree August heat seeping through bars. Aisha's vision blurred, infection spreading, her ribs a cage of pain. Grayson's empire stood, his bail a mockery of her fight. But she wasn't done. Her FBI oath, to protect, burned despite the dark. She needed out, to save Evelyn Tanya herself. The guard, a lanky white man named Rawls, had watched her beating, smirking, Grayson's cash in his pocket. But Aisha had seen him flinch when the inmates kicked her, a crack in his armor. She coughed, blood flecking the floor, and called, voice hoarse, "Rawls, talk to me." He paused, keys jangling, eyes wary. "What, Caldwell?" She sat up, wincing, ribs screaming. "You saw what they did. Grayson's dirty. Help me, I'll make it worth it." He laughed, but it was shaky. "You're a fugitive. No deal." Aisha leaned forward, voice low. "I know your sister Rawls. Addict. Right? Grayson's framing her like me. I can stop him." A lie, but she'd studied the jail's staff, overheard his calls. His face paled. "How'd you—" She pressed. "Help me out, I help her, or she's next." Rawls hesitated, then slid a key under the bars. Midnight, gates open. "Don't screw me." Aisha nodded, heart racing. A crack, her miracle. She waited, paying her clock until midnight silence. Rawls unlocked her cell, nodding to a back exit. She limped out, ribs grinding into a humid alley. Free. Her burns. Bled? But she ran, stealing a hoodie from a dumpster to hide her face. 5 miles out, she reached a safe house, a boarded-up shack not Jamal's cabin. Inside, a dusty laptop left by a squatter flickered to life. She hacked X, leaking Grayson's inmate attack orders, emails tying him to the beating. The Post. Hit. Shouted Grayson beats trending, protests reigniting. News broke. Grayson's bail revoked, jailed for assault. Aisha exhaled, ribs aching, victory sharp. She'd flipped his game, cuffed him from the shadows. Evelyn might be freed, Tanya safe. Her badge, a faint hope, glimmered. She bandaged her burns using rags, the shack's chill grounding her. The protests roared, crowds outside the jail chanting her name. She'd done it, broken his stride. Her body was failing, but her fight wasn't. She'd rest, then leak more, end him. Then her phone, a burner scavenged from the shack, buzzed. A text, anonymous. "Tanya's with us, surrender or she burns." A photo, Tanya, gagged, in a barn, Holt's boots visible. Aisha's heart stopped, ribs forgotten. Grayson, jailed. Still struck, using Holt to kidnap her sister. She traced the text, a rural IP 20 miles out. Her FBI training screamed, "Trap!" But Tanya's eyes, wide with fear, were her world. She stole a bike, pedaling through dawn, burns tearing, ribs cracking. The barn loomed, red paint peeling, isolated in a field. Aisha crept closer, heart hammering. No gun, no backup. Holt's voice echoed inside, laughing. "She'll come, stupid hero." Aisha slipped through a side door, hay scratching her burns, Tanya tied in the center, sobbing. She moved to cut the ropes, but Holt's men, 5 shadows, emerged, gas, cans in hand. "Welcome," Holt grinned, splashing gasoline. The barn's air turned sour, fumes choking. Aisha froze, Tanya's cries piercing. Holt lit a match, its glow a death sentence. "Grayson says bye." Aisha lunged for Tanya, but the men grabbed her, slamming her down, ribs snapping anew. Gasoline soaked her coat, her burns, her hope. Holt tossed the match, flames roaring. The barn a furnace. Aisha screamed, trapped with Tanya, the fire Grayson's cruelest blow. The inmate's beating was brutal, but this was annihilation, her sister burning for her fight. Her victory, Grayson's jailing, was a lie, his reach unbroken. The flames licked higher, Tanya's sobs fading, Aisha's lungs searing. She'd trusted Rawls, the system, her leak, and it led here. Her oath to protect was ash, her family paying her price. The barn's beams groaned, smoke blinding. Aisha's body broken, fought, crawling for Tanya, her burns melting, ribs useless. Holt's laugh, the men's boots, echoed. Grayson, cuffed, still won. His hate of fire no leak could douse. She'd been naive, thinking a post could stop him. He owned the game, the jails, the flames. Tanya's face, her mother's, blurred in the heat. Aisha's hand, trembling, reached for her sister. Pain her only truth. The fire was her grave, Grayson's vow, no escape. But her fight, her fire, wasn't dead. She'd save Tanya, or die trying. The barn burned, and Grayson's next move. Even from a cell was coming bloodier. He stood, his bail a mockery of her fight. But she wasn't done. Her FBI oath to protect burned despite the dark. She needed out, to save Evelyn, Tanya, herself. The guard, a lanky white man named Rawls, had watched her beating, smirking, Grayson's cash in his pocket. But Aisha had seen him flinch when the inmates kicked her, a crack in his armor. She coughed, blood flecking the floor, and called, voice hoarse, "Rawls, talk to me." He paused, keys jangling, eyes wary. "What, Caldwell?" She sat up, wincing, ribs screaming. "You saw what they did. Grayson's dirty. Help me, I'll make it worth it." He laughed, but it was shaky. "You're a fugitive. No deal." Aisha leaned forward, voice low. "I know your sister Rawls. Addict. Right? Grayson's framing her like me, I can stop him." A lie, but she'd studied the jail's staff, overheard his calls. His face paled. "How do you—" She pressed. "Help me out, I help her, or she's next." Rawls hesitated, then slid a key under the bars. Midnight, gates open. "Don't screw me." Aisha nodded, heart racing. A crack, her miracle. She waited, paying her clock until midnight silence. Rawls unlocked her cell, nodding to a back exit. She limped out, ribs grinding into a humid alley. Free. Her burns. Clet? But she ran, stealing a hoodie from a dumpster to hide her face. 5 miles out, she reached a safe house, a boarded-up shack, not Jamal's cabin. Inside, a dusty laptop left by a squatter flickered to life. She hacked X, leaking Grayson's inmate attack orders, emails tying him to the beating. The Post. Hit. Shouted Grayson beats trending, protests reigniting. News broke. Grayson's bail revoked, jailed for assault. Aisha exhaled, ribs aching, victory sharp. She'd flipped his game, cuffed him from the shadows. Evelyn might be freed, Tanya safe. Her badge, a faint hope, glimmered. She bandaged her burns, using rags, the shack's chill grounding her. The protests roared, crowds outside the jail chanting her name. She'd done it, broken his stride. Her body was failing, but her fight wasn't. She'd rest, then leak more, end him. Then her phone, a burner scavenged from the shack, buzzed. A text, anonymous. "Tanya's with us, surrender or she burns." A photo, Tanya, gagged, in a barn, Holt's boots visible. Aisha's heart stopped, ribs forgotten. Grayson, jailed. Still struck, using Holt to kidnap her sister. She traced the text, a rural IP 20 miles out. Her FBI training screamed, "Trap!" But Tanya's eyes, wide with fear, were her world. She stole a bike, pedaling through dawn, burns tearing, ribs cracking. The barn loomed, red paint peeling, isolated in a field. Aisha crept closer, heart hammering. No gun, no backup. Holt's voice echoed inside, laughing. "She'll come, stupid hero." Aisha slipped through a side door, hay scratching her burns, Tanya tied in the center, sobbing. She moved to cut the ropes, but Holt's men, 5 shadows, emerged, gas, cans in hand. "Welcome," Holt grinned, splashing gasoline. The barn's air turned sour, fumes choking. Aisha froze, Tanya's cries piercing. Holt lit a match, its glow a death sentence. Grayson says bye. Aisha lunged for Tanya, but the men grabbed her, slamming her down, ribs snapping anew. Gasoline soaked her coat, her burns, her hope. Holt tossed the match, flames roaring. The barn a furnace. Aisha screamed, trapped with Tanya, the fire Grayson's cruelest blow. The inmates' beating was brutal, but this was annihilation, her sister burning for her fight. Her victory, Grayson's jailing, was a lie, his reach unbroken. The flames licked higher, Tanya's sobs fading, Aisha's lungs searing. She'd trusted Rawls, the system, her leak, and it led here. Her oath to protect was ash, her family paying her price. The barn's beams groaned, smoke blinding. Aisha's body broken, fought, crawling for Tanya, her burns melting, ribs useless. Holt's laugh, the men's boots, echoed. Grayson, cuffed, still won, his hate a fire no leak could douse. She'd been naive, thinking a post could stop him. He owned the game, the jails, the flames. Tanya's face, her mother's, blurred in the heat. Aisha's hand, trembling, reached for her sister, pain her only truth. The fire was her grave, Grayson's vow, no escape. But her fight, her fire, wasn't dead. She'd save Tanya, or die trying. The barn burned, and Grayson's next move, even from a cell, was coming, bloodier. Aisha Caldwell lay bleeding in a muddy Virginia ditch, the bullet from Sheriff Grayson's gun tearing through her shoulder, her sister Tanya's screams piercing the night. The barn's flames still flickered in the distance, their rescue a fleeting victory now crushed by Grayson's ambush. Rawls, the guard who'd freed her from jail, stood smirking, his betrayal a knife deeper than Lena's or Claire's. Aisha's burns oozed, her broken ribs stabbed, her infected wounds a fevered haze. Blood pooled, soaking the earth, her navy coat a tattered shroud. Grayson, freed by a corrupt judge, towered above, his silver hair glinting, gun steady. "You'll never win," he'd said, voice a cold vow. Her FBI badge, her ledger proving, his supremacist ties, her live stream saving Tanya. All ash under his lies, arson, hacking, shooting, terrorism. Her mother Evelyn was cuffed, her childhood home trashed. Marcus jobless, Jamal jailed, Tanya trembling beside her, all paid for her fight. The stars blurred, 90-degree August heat mocking her fading pulse. But Aisha's hand, slick, with blood, clutched her burner phone hidden in her pocket, its live stream still running silent, recording Grayson's taunts. Her FBI training, battered but alive, whispered, "Act, survive." She'd activated the stream when she saw his truck, a desperate play. Millions watched, unaware, as Grayson gloated, "You're done, girl, you and your kind." His words raw, with hate, poured into X, into homes, into hearts. Aisha's vision swam, Tanya's sobs grounding her. She kept still, playing dead, her phone's red light a secret. Grayson kicked her, mud splashing, satisfied. Rawls laughed, "Told you she'd fall." They turned, heading for the truck, assuming her end. Aisha's fingers twitched, sending a final text to Marcus, "Stream's live, get it out." Her pulse weakened, blood draining, but the phone hummed, her truth soaring. The feed exploded, 10 million views, then 20. Grayson caught spiking. Protests erupted, not just in Richmond, but D.C., Atlanta, Chicago, crowds choking streets, chanting Aisha lives. News vans swarmed, anchors stammering, "Sheriff Grayson's confession live." Her stream showed his gun, his slurs, Rawls's smirk, undeniable. The governor, cornered, called feds. Sirens screamed, closer now, not Grayson's men, but FBI, real feds, not his puppets. Aisha's eyes fluttered, Tanya clutching her hand, whispering, "Stay, please." Her body was failing, shoulder shattered, ribs dust, infection of fire. Grayson's truck revved, but choppers roared overhead, spotlights pinning him. Agents swarmed, rifles up. "Drop it, Grayson!" He froze, gun falling, Rawls bolting, tackled in seconds. Cuffs clicked, not on Aisha, but them. Grayson's face ashen, his empire crumbling. The feds, public pressure their whip, charged him with racketeering, conspiracy, murder attempts. Holt, jailed from the barn raid, was tied, his hideout spilling names. Aisha's ledger, thought burned, was found in Holt's truck, its pages sealing their fate. Ambulances screeched, medics lifting. Aisha, her pulse fading. Tanya clung, sobbing, as they sped to a hospital 90 miles away. Her vision blacked, monitors beeping, flatlining. She saw Evelyn's quilt, Tanya's braids, her badge. Then nothing. The OR was chaos, surgeons shouting, her blood pooling. A doctor, grey-haired, leaned close, his voice familiar. Dr. Ellis, her old FBI mentor, retired, now here. "You're not done, Aisha," he whispered, defibrillators jolting. Her heart kicked, weak, then stronger. She woke, tubes snaking, pain, a dull roar. Ellis sat beside her, eyes soft. "You're cleared. Fed's got your stream, your files. Grayson's done." Cleared. Her badge, her name, hers again. Evelyn was freed. Tanya safe, Marcus rehired. The room spun, relief a tide. Her burns, her ribs, her shoulder, scars of her war. But she'd won. Grayson's network, Holt, Rawls. The judge faced trials, racketeering charges piling. Protests grew not just for her, but for every name on Grayson's list, black lives he'd framed. Her livestream, her fight, had shaken a system, exposed its rot. She joined the FBI to break men like him, and she had, at a cost. Her body, a wreck, would heal, but her soul bore deeper marks, Jamal's cuffs, Marcus's firing, Evelyn's tears. Aisha exhaled, the hospital's sterile air grounding her. She'd rest, rebuild, fight again. The world saw her now, not as fugitive, but warrior. Her phone, saved by medics, buzzed, ex-posts flooding. "Aisha's a hero." She smiled, pain easing, Tanya's hand in hers. The fight wasn't over, but she'd struck a blow, her truth a beacon. Then a nurse entered, face tight, slipping, a note under her pillow. Aisha unfolded it, heart stopping. This isn't over. No signature, but Grayson's allies, still free, lurked, their hate a shadow. Her victory, bittersweet, was a spark, not a fire. The system, cracked, wasn't broken, racism's roots deep. She gripped the note, jaw tight. Her war raged, and she'd fight, badge or not. For Evelyn, Tanya, every soul Grayson crushed. The hospital's hum faded, sirens distant, her next battle waiting. Aisha Caldwell's harrowing journey exposes the brutal reality of systemic racism and the resilience required to confront it. The first lesson is the power of perseverance against overwhelming odds. Aisha, a black FBI agent, faced relentless racist attacks, false arrests, betrayals, and violence, yet never surrendered. Her story teaches that fighting injustice, even when the system is rigged, can spark change. Second, it reveals the depth of institutional corruption. Sheriff Grayson's ability to manipulate courts, media, and even allies like Rawls shows how racist structures protect their own, demanding vigilance and exposure. Third, the betrayal by figures like Lena and Claire underscores the pain of broken trust, especially within communities, urging us to question motives and verify allies. Fourth, Aisha's strategic use of technology live streams, leaks highlights the modern fight for justice, where truth can amplify a single voice to millions. Finally, the ominous note at her hospital bed, "This isn't over," warns that victories against racism are fragile, requiring ongoing battles. Aisha's survival, saving Tanya, and toppling Grayson prove one woman's defiance can shake a rotten system, but the war persists. Her scars, physical and emotional, are a testament to the cost of courage. What's your take on Aisha's fight? Comment 1 if you stand with her, 2 if you fear the system's grip. Like, subscribe, share to amplify her truth. Thank you for joining this journey. May you find strength to challenge injustice daily.